The Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN 2 present Viking Preview with a look at today's Colfax Viking football game. And now, Viking Preview.
Good evening and welcome to Viking Preview. Rick Olson here in the NLWN 2 studio, and we're getting ready to wrap up the 2024 high school football season as the 0-8 Vikings, who are 0-6 in the Dunn-St. Croix Conference, will try to finish the season on a positive note as they take on the 7-1 Boyceville Bulldogs, who are 5-1 in the Dunn-St. Croix. The Vikings would very much like to play spoiler and pick up a win in this final game of the season, while the Bulldogs are trying to bounce back following their 19-18 loss to the Spring Valley Cardinals last Friday. Now, coming up in this edition of Viking Preview, we'll take a look at tonight's matchup between the Colfax Vikings and the Boyceville Bulldogs. Then we'll get Coach Joe Baranik's perspective on tonight's game in Coach's Corner. Following that, we'll take a quick look around the Dunn-St. Croix Conference to see how things have sorted out. Then, our broadcast crew will bring you all the play-by-play action of tonight's contest from the Lee Bierquist Athletic Complex at Colfax High School. All that coming up right after this timeout as you're tuned to Viking Preview on NLWN 2.
Yo, camping buddy. Okay, you guys ready?
Dude, I thought you were driving.
I thought you were driving.
Oh, I never said I was driving.
I definitely can't drive.
If you're high, just don't drive. It's illegal everywhere. If you feel different, you drive different.
Welcome back to Viking Preview. Tonight, the Vikings will take on Dunn-St. Croix Conference opponent, the Boyceville Bulldogs. The Vikings, although showing improvement last week, are still looking to find a way to stack positive plays to lead to a win in the final game of the season. Meanwhile, the Bulldogs suffered their first loss of the season last week at the hands of the Spring Valley Cardinals and are looking to bounce back so as to head into the WIAA playoffs on a winning note. Now, in the Vikings' 50-12 loss last week to the Cameron Comets, they again found themselves shooting themselves in the foot just when they would get a little momentum. Now, the Vikings did put together a positive stack of plays in the first quarter, beginning with a 19-yard pass from Austin Peterson to Theo Hovde.
Drops back, floats it over the middle. He's got his receiver and taken down at the 46-yard line. That's Theo Hovde.
Yeah, good job by Hovde to get between the two safeties there and get a nice first down.
That was followed a little later by a 17-yard pass from Peterson to Orion Nichols.
Peterson takes a snap, drops back, looks out. He's got Nichols at the 40, taken down at the 38-yard line.
Those two plays set up a 32-yard touchdown pass from Peterson to Hovde.
Peterson drops back, looks downfield, throws it over into the flat. He's got, I believe it's Nichols. And no, it's Hovde, and he breaks loose, heads down towards the end zone. Touchdown, Vikings! Got Theo Hovde in the flat, and he headed down the sideline for the touchdown. 32-yard touchdown pass.
Yeah, that's what we've seen all season from Theo Hovde is that speed. He had to come back for that ball, but turned and made good yards for that touchdown.
Then later in the third quarter, Hovde set up another score with a 45-yard run.
And Hovde has it this time, and he's down the sideline. And is anybody going to catch him? He's down to the 20, down to the 10, and taken down at the 10-yard line.
Yeah, quick hitter there. Everybody came to the line quick for Colfax and kind of caught Cameron off guard.
Then Hovde hit Nichols with an 11-yard touchdown pass.
Jacob Wall in the backfield now as a tailback. Give to Hovde, throwing towards the end zone. He's got Nichols in the end zone. Touchdown, Vikings!
Yeah, that's how you open up the playbook.
The Vikings capped off the game with a 33-yard pass from Hovde to Nichols before the clock ran out.
Again, Hovde in motion. Pitch to Hovde looking to throw. He's got Nichols deep. Nichols has got it at the 30. Taken down at the 25.
The Vikings were led on the ground by Hovde, who picked up 73 yards on 9 carries for an average of over 8 yards per carry. Grant Paulus added another 25 yards on 8 carries. Through the air, Austin Peterson went 3 for 4 for 67 yards and a touchdown, while Theo Hovde went 2 for 2 for 44 yards and a touchdown. The leading receiver was Orion Nichols with 3 catches for 59 yards and a touchdown, while Hovde had 2 catches for 50 yards and a touchdown. Defensively, the leading tackler for the Vikings was Grant Cook with 11 tackles. He was followed by Hovde with 7, along with Drew Beekner and Jacob Wall with 6 each. Now, last week, the Bulldogs suffered their first defeat of the season at the hands of the Spring Valley Cardinals. The Bulldogs held an 18-13 lead late in the fourth quarter, only to see Spring Valley score the go-ahead touchdown with only a minute 19 remaining. The Bulldogs were led on the ground by Zach Hellendrung, who gained 33 yards on 9 carries and 2 touchdowns. Through the air, Carson Romehill went 6 for 15 for 110 yards and a touchdown. His leading target was Owen Rydell, who had 3 receptions for 31 yards. Lexton Bennett had 2 catches for 44 yards, while Landon Leslie hauled in a 35-yard touchdown pass. Defensively, Boyceville was led by Hellendrung and Jake Bialzik, who had 11 and 10 tackles respectively. On the season, Hellendrung and Bialzik led the Bulldogs defensively with 66 and 63 tackles respectively. On the ground, the Bulldogs are being led by Hellendrung, who has 607 yards and 17 touchdowns with an average of nearly 6.5 yards per carry. Carson Romehill leads the team in passing, going 62 for 101 for 1,227 yards and 17 touchdowns. He's been intercepted 3 times and has a quarterback rating of 132. His favorite receiver has been Landon Leslie with 25 catches for 585 yards and 10 touchdowns. For the Vikings so far this season, leading the way on the ground is Theo Hovde with 348 yards on 37 carries and an average of over 9 yards per carry. He's followed by Grant Paulus with 269 yards on 71 carries. Through the air, the Vikings are led by Austin Peterson, who's completed 23 passes and 62 attempts for 368 yards and 5 touchdowns. The leading receiver for the Vikings has been Orion Nichols with 13 catches for 254 yards and a touchdown. Nichols is followed by Theo Hovde with 13 catches for 193 yards and 4 touchdowns. On defense, the Vikings are being led by Drew Beekner with 44 tackles, followed by Hovde and Grant Cook with 42 each. Now, coming up next, I caught up with Coach Joe Baranek at practice a little earlier this week, and we'll get his perspective on tonight's game in Coach's Corner. Then we'll bring you all the play-by-play action of tonight's season finale. All that coming up right after this timeout as you're tuned to Viking Preview on NLWN2.
If you love them enough to crawl into a play place to get them to come down, then surely you'll check nhtsa.gov/the right seat to make sure they're in the right car seat.
Time now for Coach's Corner, with a look at today's Viking football game from the coach's point of view. Now, Coach's Corner.
Once again, we're talking with Viking head coach Joe Baranek. And Coach, tonight the Vikings are going to wrap up the 2024 football season when they take on the Boyceville Bulldogs. But before we talk about that game, let's look back at last week when the Vikings showed some signs of good play, but again kept stepping on their own feet, and in that 50-12 loss to the Cameron Comets. Can you fill us in on that one?
Yeah, like you said, we chose some good moments, but it's usually in between some bad ones too. So just got to minimize mistakes, really what it comes down to, and play our best brand of football. I don't think we've seen it all year yet. We've strung together a quarter here, quarter there, maybe a half, but we haven't seen 4 quarters of our best play. And I think if we get that, good things tend to happen, and that's what it really comes down to for us. So we'll look to kind of maximize those things come Friday. So.
Now, in that game, the Vikings showed some pretty good signs on offense with 242 total yards, combined passing and rushing. But on defense, just couldn't seem to get Cameron off the field on third down. Your comments?
Defensively, we're getting attacked off the edges and then off tackle too. So finding a way to shore that up is going to be our main goal this week. Be a little more too high safety sets. But offensively, I'm happy with the balance. We kind of wanted to make that a goal coming into this year. Not balanced, meaning not necessarily being 50-50, but being able to run when you need to and being able to pass when you need to. So that's something we kind of really wanted to focus in on this year, and we're getting there. And it'll be better as it kind of goes on a little bit, I think. So.
Well, in fact, Ed Cameron also has a running back, that Peterson kid, who's giving everybody fits. Yeah, so right. You don't feel like you're out by yourself on that one.
No, yeah, they have some great athletes. They're well coached. So I think they'll be a tough outcome playoffs for whoever they end up facing. So.
And kind of a sidelight, that's an awfully nice facility they have up there, Cameron.
Absolutely, yeah. We had a lot of kids that had this one circled, and they never played on turf before, so it was kind of a nice little thing for some of our kids to experience. So.
Well, tonight the Vikings are going to take on the 7-1 Boyceville Bulldogs. They suffered their first loss of the season by a mere point to the Spring Valley Cardinals. What can you tell us about the Bulldogs?
Physical football team. That's kind of what it comes down to. They want to run between the tackles, and they know how to tackle themselves. So, again, trying to play our best brand of football, capitalize on the mistakes that we get, and hopefully we get a few of them come Friday night.
Now, it appears that the Bulldogs are not afraid to air it out. They have over 1,200 yards passing, and the quarterback rating for Carson Romehild is 132, which anybody at any level would take in a heartbeat. What kind of stresses does that put on your defense?
A lot. You got to trust your keys. That is for sure. They like to throw a lot of double moves on the outside, and that's kind of how they get a lot of their big shots of getting dudes to kind of suck up and then throwing it up over the top of them. So trusting your eyes, trusting our keys, and not getting kind of lost in the backfield motion is going to be big for us this week, especially in the secondary position.
Now, today's game is the final game of the 2024 season for the Vikings, who came into this season as one of the youngest, if not, in fact, the youngest team in the Dunn St. Croix Conference. Could you take a moment and reflect on the progress these boys have made through the season and how that bodes for the future of Viking football?
Yeah, no, I'm very happy, and it's probably not easy for a lot of coaches that are sitting where we're at to say that. Our kids have not given up yet, and that's something that I really give credit to. A lot of these young guys, actually, they show a lot of promise, show a lot of strength, and we see that in the JV guys. And
they just had a big win.
Yes, they did, 30-12 last night. So it's something that, again, it's going to come from experience, it's going to come through growth, it's going to come through maturity, physically, mentally. It's there, and you see flashes of it. Even on Friday nights, there are good flashes of it. So getting them to realize that, getting them to buy in here this offseason, it's going to be important for us. But, yeah, I'm happy with the progress they've made, and I'm happy we still come out and are competitive on Friday nights.
And you've got quite a number of kids who are currently in 8th grade that are going to be stepping up into the high school program next year, and so your numbers are going to look much better?
Correct, yeah. We'll graduate 5 guys that we'll definitely miss going into next year, but we'll bring in 13 more in terms of freshmen if everybody stays out. And that's our main goal, is getting those kids to remain out and remain dedicated to football. And we got a lot of kids in that class that love to play the game and love to play with each other. So I'm really looking forward to getting a chance to coach them, and kind of been watching them throughout the year here, and I'm very impressed with what I saw. So be happy to add them on and keep on building this thing the right way.
Well, thank you, Coach Baranek, for joining us on Coach's Corner, and good luck in tonight's game. And how about capping off the season in a positive way?
Let's go Vikings.
You have been tuned to Coach's Corner with a look at today's Colfax Viking game from the coach's point of view. Stay tuned, more Viking preview is coming right up.
The impact of a meal goes well beyond feeding our bodies. Because when people are fed, futures are nourished. Everyone deserves to live a full life. And with your help, together we can end hunger. Join the movement at feedingamerica.org/actnow.
Welcome back to Viking Preview. Tonight, we have the Vikings taking on the Boyceville Bulldogs in the wrap-up of the 2024 Dunn St. Croix Conference season. Now, taking a look around the Dunn St. Croix Conference, last week, in addition to the Vikings dropping a 50-12 loss to the Cameron Comets in the Dunn St. Croix Lakeland Conference crossover game, the Spring Valley Cardinals squeaked past the Boyceville Bulldogs 19-18, while the Glenwood City Hilltoppers topped the Elmwood Plum City Wolves 31-6, and the Turtle Lake Lakers blanked the Clear Lake Warriors 15-0. Now that leaves the Dunn St. Croix Conference standings as follows. In first place are the Spring Valley Cardinals with a 6-0 record. Second place belongs to the Boyceville Bulldogs at 5-1 and 1 game out of first. In third place, with a 4-2 record, are the Glenwood City Hilltoppers, 2 games back. The Turtle Lake Lakers, who sit at 3-3, are 3 games out of the lead and hold down fourth place, while fifth place finds the 1-5 Clear Lake Warriors and Elmwood Plum City Wolves tied at 4 games back. Seventh place belongs to the 0-6 Colfax Vikings. Tonight in the Dunn St. Croix Conference, well, it wraps up its season with a full slate of games. In addition to the Vikings hosting the Boyceville Bulldogs, the unbeaten Spring Valley Cardinals will travel to Glenwood City to face the Glenwood City Hilltoppers. The Clear Lake Warriors will face the Elmwood Plum City Wolves in Elmwood, and meanwhile, the Turtle Lake Lakers will host the Webster Tigers in this week's Dunn St. Croix Lakeland Conference crossover game. Now tonight, the Vikings can hopefully pull all their efforts together and show the rest of the league that they are better than their 0-6 record indicates. Now to do that will require an ultimate effort in focus and drive without the mistakes that have plagued them all season. The Bulldogs are looking to prepare for the WIAA playoffs and will find out their first round opponent tomorrow, when they would sure like to head into the playoffs on a winning note. Now this all adds up to some exciting high school football action right here on NLWN2. Now in just a few moments, we'll send it out to our broadcast crew at the Lee Bierquist Athletic Complex at Colfax High School, and we'll have all the play-by-play action for you coming up next. You've been tuned to Viking Preview on NLWN2.
For decades, I've taught you everything I know. How to safely build a fire, and how to control the flames. But I can only teach wildfire prevention. Only you can prevent wildfires.
You have been tuned to Viking Preview on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN2. Stay tuned. Coming up next is live Colfax Viking football.
It happens to everyone eventually. Your computer goes on the fritz. Fear not, Sladen's Technology Services can help. When your computer decides to not cooperate, it can be very frustrating. Let Sladen's Technology Services keep you from wanting to drive your computer right off a cliff. Sladen's Technology Services supports business of all sizes. They offer assistance with managed anti-malware, encrypted email, fast tech support, data backup, and recovery, and more. Call Sladen's Technology Services at 715-864-2833 and get the IT help you desire. Sladen's Technology Services is the official IT service for the Northern Light Webcasting Network.
The Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN2 along with Colfax High School now bring you Colfax Viking football. Follow the Vikings all season long as they battle their way through the Dunn St. Croix Conference. Now it's out to the stadium for Colfax Viking football.
And good evening. Rick Olson here with you, along with Dan Petchow and Carson Van Ness on the camera tonight as we're getting ready to bring you the season finale for the Colfax Vikings as they're taking on the Boyceville Bulldogs. And I believe we are just about ready for the national anthem, so we'll turn it over to the public address system for that.
To honor America and those defending our freedom, we ask those who are able to stand, remove their hats, and place your hand on your heart for the playing of the national anthem.
And that's the playing of our national anthem, and we're going to keep it with the public address system for the introduction of the players.
For tonight's non-sanctioned football matchup between the Boyceville Bulldogs and your Colfax Vikings. To remind you that interscholastic events are an extension of the classroom and that lessons are best learned. Respect is shown to all. Please let your good sportsmanship show during the game. And now, introducing the Boyceville Bulldogs.
We got a hot mic right there. Yeah, this is not good. Just make sure that Thank you. Not good.
Now, introducing the seniors of the Colfax Vikings. Number 2, Gil Husby. Number 3, Hunter Roberts. Number 6, Drew Beaker. Number 50, Brady Elmer. And number 77, Nathan Bezo.
Places here.
And there's the starting lineups for the Vikings and the Bulldogs. Bulldogs were introduced as a team. Vikings today introduced their seniors. All 5 of them.
Yeah. Okay. But we were just talking about that earlier. There's a big group coming in for next year.
And that's one of the positives about this season is, although those seniors will be difficult to replace, the numbers for the Vikings are going to improve, and the experience level for the Vikings, because they're only losing so few players, the Vikings will be a more experienced team next year. As per usual, Dan and I did not see the coin toss, but the result is that Boyceville, the Bulldogs, are going to be kicking off to the Vikings. Back deep to receive for the Vikings are Drew Beekner and Theo Hovde. And kicking off for Boyceville is Zach Hellendrung. At least he's waiting for the ball to tee it up. Boyceville coming off their first loss of the season by 1 point, giving up the go-ahead score to Spring Valley last week with 1:19 to go in the game. All right, Hellingdrung has the ball teed up. He approaches and he kicks it. Deep kick being fielded at about the 5-yard line by Beekner, and he's got it coming around the right side. He's out across the 30 and taken down at the 35-yard line. Nice return by Drew Beekner. He was tackled by Andrew Ton.
Yeah, Colfax special teams have been really well all year.
So the Vikings going to start on offense from their own 35-yard line. Ryan Nichols splitting out wide to the right. And Hunter Roberts is out wide to the left. Slots on both sides. That's Beekner and Hovde. Hovde goes in motion. Pitch to Hovde going around the left side, and Boyceville was waiting for him at the 35. He fell forward to the 36. Gain of about a yard. So Boyceville with only one loss on the season. They're not overly high scoring, but that tells you that it's their defense that's been doing a lot of the work for them. Single setback, wings on both sides now. And they both went in motion, and that's going to cost the Vikings 5 yards. Beekner went in motion, then Hovde went in motion, and then the ball got snapped.
Yeah,
that doesn't work.
Yeah, only one's allowed to move at a time.
So it's going to bring up 2nd down and 14. Officials for tonight's game, since they already threw one flag, Jeff Blanche is the referee. Kevin Klopp is the back judge. Lance Corton is the umpire. TJ Heavey is the line judge. Tom Heavey is the other line judge. Throw over the middle, intended for Nichols, is incomplete. Little bit high that time. Nichols did go up and try to high point it. He was covered by Ton.
Yeah, Owen Rydell for Boyceville coming in on a blitz.
So 3rd down, 14. All right, Vikings back up to the line. Roberts out to the left. Nichols to the right. Wings on both sides. High snap. Peterson pulls it down, gets it to Nichols. And it's a hook and ladder. And Hovde taken down, knocked out of bounds right near the 50-yard line. That's enough for the 1st down. The old-fashioned hook and ladder play. They hit Nichols on the hook pattern, and he pitched it to Hovde coming around with the lateral, and call out the fire department because there goes the hook and ladder.
Yeah, that's the way a coach likes it to run.
Oh, we do have a penalty marker on the play, and it's going to come back. It was a nice-looking play.
What if it is a hold? False start.
A false start on the Vikings.
Kind of a late penalty.
So that makes it 3rd and 19. All right. Nichols is out wide to the right. Hovde on the wing on the right. Beekner wing on the left. Roberts is on the left, and we've got encroachment being called this time against Boyceville. They were showing blitz and kind of overdid it a little bit. Now they're discussing it. False start against the Vikings.
I think it was number 3 for Colfax at the top.
That would be Hunter Roberts. Well, that makes it 3rd and 24.
Yeah, that hard count got everybody.
Peterson drops back under pressure, throws it out into the flat. It's incomplete. Intended for Hovde, and Roberts didn't, or to check that, not Roberts, but Peterson didn't have any time to look for someone that time to get rid of it to.
Yeah, number 26 for Boyceville got pressure.
That was Zach Hellendrung, as well as Owen Rydell coming in from the near side. So Beekner back in punt formation. Takes a snap, gets the kick away, a low wobbly one. It's caught and being returned, caught at about the 35, being returned. Penalty marker comes flying in at about the 28-yard line. Returned by Lexton Bennett. And it looks like we're going to get a hold against Boyceville. So that's going to move it back 10 yards from the 28 to the 38. Well, it's not a hold because it's put on the 32-yard line from the 27 to the 32.
That just happened right at the end of the play.
And they didn't show me a signal about what was called. Bulldogs at the line of scrimmage. And the pass out onto the flat, and it's complete on the near side to Landon Leslie. Carson Romehild at quarterback gets the pass out to Leslie, and he picked up about 5. Leslie splitting out wide to the right, and Kirschner is wide to the left. Romehild under center. Give off the right side down across the 20 and taken down at about the 18-yard line. Hellendrung on the carry. And it is enough for a first down. They put the ball right on the 20-yard line. So 1st and 10 for Boyceville. As they come up to the line, Kirschner now split out wide to the right. They're tight on the left side. Hellendrung on a wing. Romehild keeps it, throws it out to the flat. He's got his receiver at the 10, down to the 5. Penalty flag comes flying in from a long ways away. Pass was complete to Bialzik. Jake Bialzik.
I bet it's a hold on Boyceville.
He got taken down at the 4. He got taken down at the 4-yard line, but it's holding against the Bulldogs. So it's going to move the ball back. It looks like it's on the 14. At the end of the season, the lines get a little faded down there. Looks like it's on the 14 as the Bulldogs come up to the line. They put a man in motion and give up the left side, breaking through and driving down. That's Hellendrung on the carry. Got it down inside the 5 to about the 3-yard line.
Yeah, that's just lowering their pads and barreling over people.
If I'm not mistaken, Hellendrung is their leading rusher on the season.
Zach Lermo on the tackle from Colfax.
Mees is in on the left side, give up the middle, or coming around the left side, and that's Hellendrung taking it into the end zone for a Boyceville touchdown.
Yeah, Boyceville's left side sucked down, and that left the outside open. Easy touchdown for Boyceville.
Yeah, they did a little zone blocking out to the left side and collapsed it down, and he got to the outside. Lining up to go for a 2-point conversion. They have slots on both sides. Romehill looking towards the end zone. He's got Hellendrung. And so 2-point conversion, and the Bulldogs take an 8-0 lead over the Vikings on NLWN 2.
Looking for a team approach to managing your finances? With over 70 years of experience and 12 locations, Dairy State Bank has built a reputation for helpful customer service and support. While our service ethic is old-fashioned, our products and services are not. We offer a full range of loan programs as well as online banking, mobile deposit, and transaction alerts to fit your busy lifestyle. Dairy State Bank, banking on relationships, member FDIC, and equal housing lender.
Elmo's daddy taught him that when he has a big feeling like being frustrated, humming a song can help you feel better. We all have big feelings, and we are all here for one another. Love your mind.
Back here at Colfax High School, we're at the Lee Bierquist Athletic Complex. And the Boyceville Bulldogs have opened up an early 8-0 lead over the Vikings with 7:52 remaining in the first quarter. Hellendrung getting ready to kick. And again, Hovde and Beekner onside kick, and the Vikings fall on it. And being alert down there for the Vikings was Mason Smith.
Yeah.
Everybody else had turned and started to go back to block. Nobody saw it. Smith kind of peeked over his shoulder and said, hey, wait a minute, there's the ball, and jumped on it.
Yeah, Boyceville wanted to put this game away early.
So the Vikings have the ball at their own 47-yard line. 1st and 10 as they come up to the line. Roberts to the near side. That's Johnson, Austin Johnson over on the far side. 2 backs in the backfield. Peterson keeps it himself, and he gets caught in the backfield by a whole bunch of white jerseys back about the 40-yard line. They're going to give him forward progress, if that's what you can call it, at the 42. 43. It's going to be a loss of about 5. 2nd and 15.
Kind of looked like a broken play.
They have both Paulus and Beekner lined up in the backfield. And again, 2 backs back there. Give to Hovde going around the left side, and he gets pulled down from behind back at the 36-yard line. I believe that was, well, I don't have an 83 on my roster.
On the tackle?
Yeah.
I thought it was number 50, John Madison.
Well, then we'll say that was him, because I don't have an 83, which I do see down there. Well, I did see. All right. 3rd and 19. Beekner in motion. Peterson rolling to his right, looking downfield, and pass is incomplete. Romehild was the closest one to it.
Yeah, good coverage by Boyceville.
Both Beekner and Hovde were kind of in the same area that time, so there was a lot of white shirts in the area as well. 4th and long. Vikings at the line. Beekner back in punt formation.
Uh-oh.
Snap over his head. He's back at the 10, and he's looking for somewhere to go and gets dragged down at the 5-yard line. So it's going to be 1st and goal for the Boyceville Bulldogs back at the Viking 5-yard line.
Tried to give that little shimmy shake there to get away, but
actually, I don't think he realized it. He had plenty of time to kick the ball once he picked it up. May not have been ideal, but it would have been better than giving him the ball on the 5-yard line. 5:58 remaining. Bulldogs break the huddle. May splits out wide to the right. And Leslie is on the left. He goes in motion. Romehild rolling to his right, throwing towards the end zone. He's got it incomplete.
Tried to flip it to Helledrong and kind of throw him behind a little bit.
So 2nd down and goal from the 5. Landon Leslie out wide to the right. Mees is to the left. They're both quite wide on their respective sides. Romehill drops back, looks towards the end zone, rolls to his left. He's got a clear path, and into the end zone he goes. So Carson Romehill takes it on a 5-yard run.
Yeah, he wanted to go to the right, and that was all bottled up, so he took it to the left and scored.
5:44 remaining in the first quarter. So the Bulldogs on top of the Vikings 14-0. And they're going to attempt to kick the extra point. Hellendrung to do the kicking. Snap, the place, the kick. It's up, and it's good. So the score, Boyceville 15 and the Vikings nothing, and you're tuned to Viking football on NLWN 2.
It's getting to that time of year again. Time for the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN TV to present our Halloween Spooktacular 2024. Join us at 7 p.m. on Halloween night by the light of the Jack-o'-lantern as we bring you some of the best in Halloween-themed old-time radio programs, including The Jack Benny Show and the Halloween Masquerade Party, Dragnet, and the episode entitled The Werewolf, The Lives of Harry Lime starring Orson Welles, and Suspense with The Bride Vanishes. So join me on our Halloween Spooktacular at 7 p.m. Halloween night on NLWN TV.
So Boyceville has opened up a 15-0 lead over the Vikings, and they're getting ready to kick it off. Zach Hellendrung teeing the ball up for the Bulldogs. And again, Hovde and Beekner are back deep. Hovde on the near hash, Beekner on the far hash. Hellendrung approaches and kicks it away. Nice deep kick coming down at the 5-yard line. Buechner keeps it. He's coming around the left side. He found a hole. He's out across the 30, taken down with a horse collar tackle at the 35-yard line. I even saw that one, Dan.
Yeah, another good return by Colfax.
And they're going to march the penalty off right up near midfield with that horse collar tackle. And the 15-yard penalty gives the Vikings the ball, 1st and 10, right at midfield.
Yeah, Colfax has to take advantage of this.
Hovde goes in motion, but they run it to the right side, and taken down is Buechner across the 45 down to the 44-yard line. It's going to be a gain of 6. 2nd down and 4. Hovde lined up in on the wing on the right side, went into motion, and then they gave it to Buechner coming back against that motion. And we have a penalty marker, and we're going to get a false start being called against the Vikings. And the coaches are saying, who? And they are calling false start against the Vikings. It's going to make it 2nd and 9. Yeah, that was kind of my response. That looked like a pretty standard lining up and getting ready to run the play. I may have missed it.
Yeah. Yeah, somewhere along the way somebody flinched.
So the Vikings up to the line now with 2nd and 9 instead of 2nd and 4. Snap to Peterson, fires over the middle. It's a little bit high, and it, almost intercepted, then almost caught. Romehild had the interception fall right between the 1 and the 7 on his jersey, but then it bounced out, and Hovde almost grabbed it out of midair. And after all that was said and done, nobody had it.
Peterson's a little slow for Colfax, but he'll be all right. Took a pretty big shot when he threw that.
He doesn't have much time back there. 3rd down and long. 3rd and 9. Wings on both sides. Buechner under center now. They give it straight up the middle. No, Buechner kept it himself. Gained maybe a yard. 4th down 8. Fourth down, 8 yards to go on the 48-yard line. And the kick is away. It's taking a Viking roll, and Hovde downs it at the 17-yard line, and that's where Boyceville will take over. 1st and 10 at the 17-yard line. So the Bulldogs at least have a little bit of field to work with now. They have to drive a little ways down. Romehild under center, drops straight back, looking downfield. He's firing it deep. He's got his receiver, bounces out of his hands. He had his receiver, Jacoby Kirschner, down around the 45-yard line of the Vikings, and it just went in and out of his hands. And so that's going to bring up second down 10.
Yeah, they had a shot there.
That's one of the things that you were noticing about Boyceville in their passing attack.
Yeah, last week they had 110 yards passing.
And we have a penalty marker goes flying. And we're going to get a false start against the Bulldogs. It's going to make it 2nd and 15. In fact, they've not been afraid to throw it all year. What are their numbers like this year for passing?
For Boyceville?
Well, they're the ones with the ball.
I probably shouldn't have dropped my papers on the floor, huh?
Yeah, it's better if you keep them right there with you.
12 something, if I remember right.
Bulldogs at the line. Slots on both sides. Romehild in the shotgun. Drops back, looking downfield. He's got plenty of time. He keeps it himself. Gets across the 20s out to the 30. He cuts it back and runs into his own man, but keeps going, and he's got a lane. He's out across the 50. Is anybody going to catch him? And Hovde's got an angle, or Beekner had an angle, but he can't get him out of bounds into the end zone. And that is a touchdown run. An 88-yard touchdown run by Carson Romehild.
Yeah, Romehild is their number one rushing player, so he's definitely got the wheels.
So the Bulldogs at the line of scrimmage. They're going to kick the extra point.
Yeah.
Late substitution coming in.
1,227 yards rushing.
1,227 rushing? No. Passing.
And the passing is...
And the kick is no good. So the score remains Boyceville 21 and the Vikings nothing. And you're tuned to Viking football on NLWN 2.
Mom's Restaurant and Pub in Colfax has just what you need when you have that craving for a home-cooked meal the way Mom used to make it. Mom's is open from 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. daily and until 9 on Fridays with a complete breakfast menu. Lunch includes sandwiches, salads, wraps, and burgers, along with Mom's comfort food favorites, and don't forget dinner on Fridays with Mom's famous fish fry. The coffee always hot, the breakfast always delicious, and lunch puts a smile on your face. 225 Bremer Avenue, Colfax. Call 715-962-4617. That's Mom's Restaurant and Pub in Colfax. NLWN TV is once again excited to be your host for Colfax High School girls basketball throughout the 2024 through 2025 season. Our first game of the season will be on Tuesday, November 19th, when the Vikings travel to Regis High School in Eau Claire to take on the Regis Ramblers. Coverage begins with Viking pregame at 6:40 p.m. with live play-by-play to follow. That's live Colfax Viking girls basketball on Tuesday, November 19th on NLWN TV.
Back here at the Lee Bierquist Athletic Complex. Rick Olson with you, along with Dan Petchow, Carson Van Ness on the camera tonight. And the Bulldogs getting ready to kick off again to the Vikings. 3:05 to go in the first quarter. Boyceville on top, 21-0. Hellendrung kicks and drives it deep, coming down at about the 5-yard line. Hovde with it. Takes a look to the left, runs into a wall of red trying to block for him, and they weren't successful at blocking, and he gets taken down at about the 21-yard line, it looks like. Maybe the 22.
Yeah, that's one thing about Humpty. He is the quickest guy on the team.
And if you're blocking for him, you better get that block accomplished and get out of his way. Twin receivers going out wide to the left. We have a slot on the right side. Nichols is in the slot. Quick toss out into the flat. That's Hovde. They're running a little bit of a screen. He cuts back into the middle, breaks it open, and gets down across the 35 out to the 38-yard line. That's enough for a Viking first down.
That good job to cut back by Hovde.
Peterson's back in the game, by the way, for the Vikings. Nichols out wide now to the right side, and out to the left is Johnson. Snap, quick pass back to Hovde, and that one led him a little bit too much downfield. Again, looking for that screen pass over on the right side.
Yeah, it would have been pretty tough. Landon Leslie for Boyceville is right there also.
That's where you hope your guy can make the first guy miss and then see what happens. Johnson comes out, and Roberts goes in, and the Vikings shift. They have a student body right this time. Quick pass over to the left side, and downfield. He's got Hovde wide open. Hovde going to be wrestled down at about the 17-yard line. Quick pass over to the left to Drew Beekner, then to Hovde downfield, the double pass.
We've seen that play before this year.
But not out of that formation. They moved everybody over to the right side of the center, or nearly the entire line went over to the right side of the center, which put the center on the end, also made the center an eligible receiver, which is a variation off of that play. Vikings in a more traditional formation now from the 16. Well, they got it on the 15. Peterson throws it out in the flat, and it was intended for Hovde. Hovde didn't realize it was coming, and Bulldogs almost intercepted it. Bialzik almost had the interception. Paulus is split out wide. Quick pass to Nichols, and Nichols looking downfield. He got the pass away, but it's intercepted at the 2-yard line. Nichols had people hanging on his feet, and he got rid of it. And it was intercepted by Ton, I believe, number 9. So it'll be 1st and 10 for the Bulldogs at the 2-yard line.
Yeah, 52. Oliver Huff had him around the ankles, seemed like forever.
And Nichols actually got a pretty good toss away considering he couldn't step into it and couldn't move. Romehild under center. Gives off the right side. That's Hellendrung. He cuts it back to the left. He found an opening, and he gets it out near the 20-yard line. Going to be down at about the 18, 19-yard line.
We got a flag on the play.
And there's going to be a hold against the Bulldogs. That'll be half the distance to the goal. I guess it goes from the Well, it's on the 3.
First and 10, ball on the 3.
Romehill turns, gives it to the fullback who fell over his own man and maybe got a yard. That's Bialzik on the carry. Yeah, he got a yard. He's out to the 4.
Yeah, this is kind of a crucial series right here.
Second down 9 for the Bulldogs. Under a minute to go in the quarter. Romehill looking downfield as he rolls to the right. He's got his receiver, and he's out across a 30 or out across a 25 to about the 26-yard line. That was Owen Rydell on the reception. First and 10 at the 32.
Yeah, nothing fancy there, just a little crossing route.
Check that. That's not the 32. That's the 27. Romehill gives it off the left side to Hellendrung. He drives it across the 30 out to the 35-yard line. And that's going to be the end of the quarter. It's going to bring up a second down as we head to the second quarter with the score. The Boyceville Bulldogs on top of the Vikings, 21-0 on NLWN 2.
How you doing?
Hey, Mason.
Hey, Mason. Thank you.
A place to make my own. A place that I call home. This place that I call home.
To get your lawn or garden to perform at attracting what you want, you first need to know what your soil is working with. That's where Midwest Environmental Consultants can help. Their soil testing service can give you a complete rundown on your soil's nutrition and health. They test for nitrogen levels, phosphorus, potash, micronutrients, minerals, pH, and organic matter. Let Midwest Environmental Consultants put you in control of your soil's health. Call Midwest Environmental Consultants at 608-468-2067. That's Midwest Environmental Consultants, serving Western Wisconsin.
Back here at the Lee Bierquist Athletic Complex. Boyceville Bulldogs leading the Colfax Vikings 21-0 as we head into the second quarter. Boyceville now coming back out on the field. Third down and about 2 yards to go. Romehill steps in under center. Hellendrung and Bialzak, the setbacks. They put a man in motion, hand it to him on the jet sweep going around the left side, and he's got a little bit of room. Hesitates, sidesteps, gets across the 40 of the Vikings and taken down at about the 38-yard line. That's Landon Leslie on the carry.
A good job by Leslie just to follow this blocker.
That little hesitation and sidestep at about the 45-yard line got him another 7 yards.
Ball at the 38.
Bulldogs up to the line. Leslie is split to the near side. They do have Hellendrung in the slot on the near side. Romehill dropping back, looking downfield. Fires over the middle, passes complete. That's taken down by Kirschner, and he's tackled at about the 28-yard line.
Beekner on the
27.
tackle. Beekner on the tackle.
And that's going to be a first down. Well, maybe not. Yes, they're trying to tell the sticks to move. Bulldogs come up to the line. This drive started back on their own 2-yard line. Romehild under center. Give to Hellendrung off the left side. He had a nice hole. He gets it down near the 20-yard line, taken down at the 22-yard line. It's going to be a gain of about 8. That was a big hole at the line of scrimmage he had to go through.
Tackled by number 2, Theo Hovde.
So they mark it on the 23-yard line, and the yard to gain is going to be the 18. So it's second down 5. Come up to the line of scrimmage. Kirshner is split to the near side. Romehild takes a snap, gives it to Hellendrung, and he hands it off to, coming back the other way, is Leslie, and he had nowhere to go, taken down for gain of maybe a yard on the play. And we have a timeout for an injury on the field. And while they tend to him, we will take a timeout as you're tuned to Viking football on NLWN 2.
Menominee Eye Optical can help you see the world for the beautiful place it is. Doctors Nicholas and Marianne Comro provide comprehensive and emergency eye care for all, including pediatric and special needs patients. Whether it's examination for glasses to cataract or LASIK care, or diagnosis and management of macular degeneration, and so much more. In addition, Menominee Eye and Optical's experienced opticians will help guide you to the highest quality eyewear for the best value. That's Menominee Eye and Optical, 520 Wilson Avenue in Menominee, where they specialize in quality personalized care for you and your family.
Hi, I'm Smokey Bear, and I made an assistant to help you out, because only you can prevent wildfires.
Hey, Assistant Smokey Bear, call me Papa Bear, because I'm grilling up dinner. Do you get it?
Yes, good job.
So, what should I do with all these coals?
Don't just toss them out. Put them in a metal container because those embers can start a wildfire.
I understand. The stakes are high.
Ha, 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 ha.
See, Smokey thinks I'm funny.
The injured player was Grant Cook, and he ran off the field under his own power. So it's third down and 4 for the Bulldogs. By the way, with that Smokey Bear ad, I want to remind you there is a burning ban in Dunn County. Romehild rolling out to the right, looking downfield. He's got Landon Leslie at the 10 and gets taken down at about the 8-yard line. That's going to be a first down.
Austin Peterson on the tackle.
Along with Drew Beekner. They're going to mark it at the 9. First and goal for the Bulldogs. Bulldogs up to the line. First and goal. Romehild under center. Leslie in motion. Quick pitch to Hellendrung. Tries the left side, and he gets into the end zone. Zach Hellendrung to make the score. Bulldogs 27 and the Vikings 0. Right at 9 minutes even to go. So, Bulldogs lining up to try the extra point. Hellendrung to kick it out of the hold of Romehild. And we have a whistle. And they're sending Ryan Nichols off the field. Going out to replace him is Jace Hintzman. Snap the place, the kick gets up. And that one is good. So that makes the score Bulldogs 28, Vikings nothing. As you're tuned to Viking football on NLWN2.
Hear that? That's the sound of your life. Perfectly imperfect. But every time you drive after drinking, the music gets drowned out. Your life sounds pretty great. Don't let a buzz ruin it. Buzzed driving is drunk driving. Don't drive buzzed.
Back here at the Lee Bierquist Athletic Complex, Bulldogs getting ready to kick off to the Vikings. Again, it's Hellendrung getting ready to kick. And back deep to receive for the Vikings are Hovde and Beekner. Hellendrung approaches, and it's a bouncer being picked up by Nichols, and he goes right to his knees at the 30-yard line. So that'll be the Vikings ball, 1st and 10 at the 30.
Yeah, you just never know what those balls are going to do when they come in like that.
Well, tumbling end over end, and that, you know, football's kind of funny shaped. And, yeah, it can take some pretty funny hops. A beautiful fall evening tonight. Vikings at the line of scrimmage. Bulldogs loading the box against the Vikings. Hovde in motion, and we've got a flag, and we've got an offside being called against the Bulldogs. They were definitely loading the box that time. They had about 9 up there.
Yeah, must have just got in neutral zone her.
So the Vikings will have it 1st and 5. Hovde in motion. Pitch to Hovde, looking downfield, and intercepted by the Bulldogs. And coming back across the 40, and a penalty comes flying in as we have a player down on the far sideline. Pass was intercepted by Tucker Lindstrom.
Colfax player down.
And it's a personal foul against the Bulldogs. I believe it's after the interception, so the interception will still stand. And as they tend to the injured Colfax player, we'll find out who it is for you and give you all that information right after this timeout on NLWN2.
Can't believe you're doing this alone. I've done it before. I remember. You threw your back out. How you holding up? Hand me that board. Nothing wrong with getting help. I'm good. I did it when Felicia left. I'll figure it out. I know you will, but you don't have to do it alone. That's all I'm saying. If I promise to look into it, will you drop it and help me build this fence? Now you need my help. It can be a real pain sometimes, you know that?
Mm-hmm.
If you or a veteran you know needs support, don't wait. Reach out. Find resources at va.gov/reach.
Brady Elmer is the player coming off the field. Under his own power, but a little bit gingerly, one might say. All right, so the interception stands. There was a personal foul for a late hit out of bounds against the Bulldogs, and that moved the ball back 15 yards, and so they have the ball 1st and 10 at their own 43. Helendrung and Bialczyk are the two running backs. Leslie goes in motion, and we have whistles that stop the play right at the very beginning. I think there was a mishandled snap. It's going to bring up 2nd down. No gain.
Just kind of odd. It must have been snapped, but the whistle was blowing real quick.
Romehild looking out in the right flat, gets it to Leslie. He cuts it back to the left side. He breaks one tackle. Now he turns the corner and gets it out across the 50 down to the 45 and 43-yard line.
Theo Hovde on the tackle for Colfax.
They had Leslie corralled in the backfield, but he used his speed and cut back the opposite direction and got the 1st down. So 1st and 10 at the 43. Coming up on 7:40 to go. And they give up the middle, and that's Bialczyk, and he gets it across the 40 down to about the 36-yard line.
Ryan Nichols on the tackle for the Vikings.
So a gain of 6, 2nd down 4. Boyceville using all the clock they can. Romehill just now comes into the huddle with the play. They come up to the line of scrimmage. Romehill dropping back, looking out to the right side. He's got his receiver. He's got it at the 30 down to the 25 and taken down there. That's Bradley Mays. And it's a 1st and 10 for the Bulldogs.
1st and 10 on the 25.
So the Bulldogs come up to the line. Mays is lined up as a wing on the near side. Romehild rolling to the left, flips it out. He's got his receiver, and he's taken out of bounds or right near the sideline in time, or far enough for a 1st down, right around the 10-yard line. That's Owen Rydell on the reception.
We've seen that play a couple times. A little double crossing route there.
So 1st and goal, nose of the football just inside the 10-yard line. Romehild takes it around the right side, throws it over the top and into the end zone, caught for a touchdown by Rydell. A 10-yard touchdown pass to Rydell. And kicking the extra point is Helen Drung with 5:20 remaining. Snap the place, the kick gets up. That one's no good. Oh, it went through. I don't have a great angle at it. It got really close to that left upright. But the kick is good. And so the score, Boyceville 35 and the Vikings nothing on NLWN 2.
Hi. I'm your retirement fear. But don't be scared. You're still in pre-retirement.
Does that mean I have more time to plan?
Precisely. Here, this is pretirement.org.
Retirement savings options? Potential tax breaks?
Move.
This isn't scary. I'm doing it.
You got this.
Visit thisispretirement.org for free resources to help you customize your action plan.
Anderson Bridges, located in Colfax, Wisconsin, has been manufacturing prefabricated steel truss bridges since 1989. With hundreds of bridges supplied nationwide, we suspect you've crossed our path. It may have been on a pedestrian or bicycle bridge, or how about a snowmobile, ATV, or golf course bridge? Anderson Bridges is likely to have manufactured it. Founded in 1989, Anderson Bridges has been a family-owned company since its beginning and are proud to support the Colfax Vikings.
Boyceville Bulldogs getting ready once again to kick off to the Vikings. Helen Drung to kick it away to Beekner and Hovde are deep. 5:20 to go in the first half. Hovde picks it up at the 10. He's coming around the left side. He's found an opening and gets pushed out of bounds at the 35-yard line. He was one step from breaking that one.
Tackled by 26.
He did it. That was Helen Drung made the tackle, and actually that could have been a touchdown-saving tackle because if he doesn't kick those feet out of bounds, Hovde was ready to be off and running.
Yeah, he was just going to make the turn and just got tripped up.
He's at the 33-yard line is where they spot it. Vikings at the line of scrimmage. Two runners in the backfield. Peterson waiting for the snap. Now they switch. Hovde goes up to the wing. Beekner into the backfield. And they give straight up the middle to Paulus. And I heard people in the stands go, oh, on that one because he got hit just as soon as he got the ball and lost a couple yards on the play.
55 on the tackle for Boyceville.
Good penetration by the Boyceville defense.
That's Nathan Jensen.
Four minutes remaining in the first half. Vikings trail 35-0. Pitch to Beekner going around the right side. He's got the corner turned and taken down across the 35 to about the 36-yard line. It's going to bring up a 3rd and 7. And the Vikings actually in a manageable 3rd down this time. Hunter Roberts splitting out wide to the left. Beekner in the slot on the left. Nichols out wide to the right. Peterson looking over the middle, and that one's intercepted by Leslie. He's across the 45 down to the 40 to the 35 and run out of bounds inside the 30-yard line of the Vikings.
Yeah, thrown into traffic.
They're going to mark it right on the 30-yard line. So 1st and 10 for the Bulldogs. Two and a half minutes remaining in the first half. Bulldogs at the line. Romehill looking downfield under some pressure, rolls to his right, looking downfield, passes, tipped and nearly intercepted by Peterson. Pass was intended for Mays down right near the goal line. As we mentioned, Romehill not afraid to put it in the air with over 1,200 yards passing coming into the game.
Yeah, he's got an arm on him.
Two backs in the backfield. Got a slot on the right side. Romehill hands it off and trying the right side, not finding much sledding there, is Owen Rydell. They're going to mark it across the 30 to about the 28-yard line. So gain of 2, 3rd down and 8.
52 at the bottom of the pile for Colfax.
That would be Mason Smith. Hellendrung in the slot on the right side this time. Romehill dropping back, looking downfield, rolls to his left, throws it out. He's got Hellendrung on the left side, down near the sideline, and taken down at about the 10-yard line. And we have a timeout being called by the Bulldogs because it's going to be 1st and 10, or 1st and goal at the 9-yard line. So with a timeout on the field, you're tuned to Viking football on NLWN2.
C&K Construction is your source for high-quality concrete and construction work in the Chippewa Valley. Established in 2014, C&K Construction in Chippewa Falls is a leading concrete contractor proud to serve Eau Claire, Altoona, Menominee, and surrounding areas. Specializing in concrete construction, excavating, flatwork poured walls, and much more, they're right for all of your concrete needs. Call C&K Construction in Chippewa Falls at 715-559-1335.
Hey, don't forget, coming up at halftime, we have a Viking profile for you, and today it's Austin Johnson. He'll be our Viking profile guest. 15-plus seconds remaining in the first half. Vikings trying to keep Boyceville from expanding that score anymore. They're at the line of scrimmage. 1st and goal at the 9. Romehill takes it, drops back, looks downfield, fires towards the end zone. Leslie has it in the end zone. No, he did not hang on all the way through the catch. You've got to hang on through the process of the catch, and he did not. So it's incomplete. And timeout is called.
We had just 2.6 seconds left.
That clock ran a while, too, after the incomplete pass, but I don't think the Vikings are going to complain about that. So 2.6 seconds remaining. Want to remind you that, hey, it's just about time for basketball season, and it's coming up before you know it. We have the girls on November 19th on our sister station, NLWN TV, and we're going to bring you Colfax girls basketball. They open the season by traveling to Eau Claire to take on the Regis Ramblers. Coverage begins with Viking pregame at 6:40 p.m. with live play-by-play to follow. The boys are a week later right here on NLWN2, and they will open their season by hosting the McDonald Central Max. And again, that coverage starts at 6:40, followed by live play-by-play action. So that's November 19th and 26th. We have Viking basketball coming your way. 2.6 seconds remaining, probably the last play of the half. Romehill in the shotgun, takes a snap, drops back, rolls to his left under some pressure, keeps it himself, heads towards the pylon, and he's in the end zone for the touchdown.
And the Bulldogs pick up one more touchdown to close the half.
So that was a 9-yard touchdown run. So now they'll try the extra point to see what our halftime score is. Snap, the place, the kick. It's up, and it's good. So the score going into halftime is the Boyceville Bulldogs 42 and the Vikings nothing, as you're tuned to Viking football on NLWN2. Coming up is Viking halftime.
Even the mighty might not see it coming. It's prediabetes, and it captures 1 in 3 adults. But you can escape. Take the 1-minute prediabetes risk test to know where you stand and prevent or delay type 2 diabetes. Be your own hero on smartphones everywhere at doihaveprediabetes.org.
Time now for Viking halftime with this week's Viking profile and other halftime entertainment. Time now for Viking Profile, where we get to know one of this season's Colfax Viking players. And now Viking Profile.
Today on Viking Profile, we're talking with Austin Johnson, who's a junior here at Colfax High School. And Austin, we know that you play football, but what are some other activities that you're involved with at school?
Well, I used to be involved with the D&D club. Unfortunately, that's going under, but I am also involved in some other things with like track and doing other things with that. Also trying my best to make sure we can get more and more kids out here to play football, because that's something we've struggled with over the years. Thankfully, I think the 8th grade's looking like about 20 kids, I was told, during contact days.
Oh, it would almost double your numbers if they showed up.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I hope every single 8th grader and middle schooler, freshman, anyone who's ever considered doing football, do it. Do it once, because you can get that good try in, and if you don't like it, you don't like it. Even juniors and seniors, you guys only have like 2 more years or 1 more year left. Come do a sport, come do something, get active and get a part of this community, because this is so vital and important. Like, the brotherhood and bonds I have formed over here can be just unreal compared to like everything else. You know what I mean? Like, because instead of like basketball, football, you want to kill the opposite member of the team, not because you hate them, but because you love your brothers on that side.
So you want to just defeat him and get him out of the way so that you guys can advance.
Yes.
Okay. Now, is that the most important thing that you've learned playing football, do you think?
The most important thing I think I've learned is just be a good member of the team, and remember that you have that position no matter what in your life, and you need to execute that perfectly if you want others around you to succeed and you want you to succeed as well.
Very good. So when you're not playing football or you're not here at school, what are some other things that keep you interested or occupied?
I love fishing. I love fishing, hunting, hiking, being out in the wilderness. You know what I mean? I really stopped with video games, but that was one of my other passions I had. But, I just love getting out there and being able to do stuff like work as well.
Okay, here come the rapid fire questions.
All right.
Pie, ice cream, cake, or cookies?
Pie. Pumpkin.
Which kind? Pumpkin?
Pumpkin, yeah.
With the whipped cream or?
You need the whipped cream.
Oh, yeah. In fact, I know plenty of people that say pumpkin pie is just an excuse for eating whipped cream.
Exactly.
Okay. All right, burgers, brats, or hot dogs?
Burgers.
And what do you want on that burger?
Some cheese, maybe some mustard.
Okay, pretty simple and basic.
Yeah.
Okay, all right, that's the classic. Favorite NFL team?
Raiders, Las Vegas Raiders.
Okay, all right. How about your favorite collegiate team?
Collegiate, that would be college.
Yes.
College, Wisconsin Badgers. You got to go local here.
Yeah, and they look like they might be set up for a pretty good season this year.
Oh, yeah.
It's got to be in the red and white, right?
Yeah, I'm in the red and white right now.
There we go. If you had a superpower, what would that be and why?
The best hands in the Dun St. Croix.
Oh, okay. Hands
catch.
That
Yeah.
Okay. Now, if you have hands that'll catch anything that's coming their way, you have to have a superhero name to go with that. So what is your superhero name?
The Handsy Man.
The Handsy Man. Okay. Yeah. Watch out for the Handsy Man. He's going to grab hold of you. All right. Now, if you could sit down and have dinner with any person throughout the entire history of football, whether it's a player, or coach, or other football personality, who might that be and why?
Bo Jackson. I've always looked up to him. And is just like the way he was able to run so fast. Like, unfortunately, he had that injury. Mm-hmm. But he's just certified Raiders legend in my heart.
Right. Okay, we're talking with Austin Johnson on Viking Profile. And Austin, what are your plans for after high school?
My plans, well, next summer I'm going to be going into the National Guard. So if that's really shaping out, I'll be going farther and deeper into that. Or I'm just going to go to CVTC and get a different trade job and work in there.
Okay. All right. How about a shout out to the family?
Shout out to all my uncles, Josh, Tristan, John, Jake, Ashley. Shout out to my dad, Gabe Johnson. He's a real one. Shout out to my mom as well. Shout out to my papa.
Can't leave mom out.
Yeah, I know. Shout out to my papa. Shout out to my grandpa on my dad's side and my grandma. And rest in peace to my grandmother who died of breast cancer.
Okay, very good. In fact, when you listed all those people, I think that's like about a third of the bleachers over there, isn't it?
Yeah, it will be.
Especially when they get cheering and everything and making noise. And okay. When people come to Viking games, let us know where we're going to find you on the field.
I will be an ex-receiver, so I'll probably be a little bit farther away from you, but that's where I'll be. I'll be ready to go, just gunning it every single time, trying to get that run, trying to get that block, trying to get that catch.
Okay, we want to thank Austin Johnson for joining us today on Viking Profile. Coming up next, more Viking Halftime.
You've been tuned to Viking Profile, where we get to know one of this season's Colfax Viking players. This has been a production of the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN2. Now more Viking Halftime entertainment.
When I arrived in the U.S. at 19, I struggled to find job opportunities without a high school diploma. Everything I have, my education, my career, my marriage, I owe to the Adult Literacy Center and my teachers.
Your achievement has set an example for so many students. Most importantly, your daughter.
Education was the key that unlocked all my opportunities.
When you graduate, they graduate. Visit finishyourdiploma.org to find free adult education centers near you.
kids start vaping. And I can't let this happen to my kid. So if you want to talk to your kids, you have to get it trending.
No, you're doing it wrong.
Let's go.
Can we talk?
Yeah, what's up?
Visit talkaboutvaping.org for tips on when and how to have the vape talk.
You've been tuned to Viking Halftime on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN2. Now back to the stadium for second half action.
We come from a long line of farmers, and there's a sense of pride, but there's also a significant amount of pressure.
Farmers have to take care of their physical and their mental health, because what's a farm without a farmer?
Watching the sun come up, that's my time. I can have a cup of coffee, and every day is a new opportunity.
That's cool. Your hand's gotten so Yay!
Don't forget to check in on yourself. Love your mind.
And welcome back to the Lee Bierquist Athletic Complex here at Colfax High School. We have just a couple of minutes before we get the second half underway, where the Boyceville Bulldogs are leading the Vikings by a score of 42-0. So I'm of the belief we will be in running time as the second half gets underway. Taking a look at the scoring plays in the first half, needless to say, it was all Boyceville. With 7:52 to go in the first quarter, Zach Hellendrung took it in on a 4-yard run, and Romehill hit Hellendrung with a pass for the 2-point conversion, making it 8-0. 5:44 remaining in the quarter. Romehill took it in on a 5-yard run. The kick was good, making it 15-0. That was Hellendrung's kick. 3:05 remaining in the first quarter, an 88-yard touchdown run by Romehill. The kick was good, and it was 21-0. That's the way it ended at the end of the first quarter. Second quarter, Hellendrung took it in on a 9-yard run. The kick was good, 28-0. At 5:20 remaining in the half, a 10-yard pass from Romehill to Rydell. The kick was good. 35-0 was the score. And then as time ran out in the first half, Romehill took it on a 9-yard run. The kick was good, making the score 44-0. And that's where we're at to start the third quarter. Vikings will be kicking off to the Boyceville Bulldogs. Dan, what do they need to do to make this respectable?
Just get an offense going here tonight. You know, they really haven't had much. They had a couple of good plays right at the beginning of the game. Then they had a whole pile of turnovers. And, yeah, they just got to keep these turnovers down on offense and try to get a stop on defense.
Well, one of the things that we were talking about during the first half was that the Viking line on both sides of the ball are small, and it's really showing up. You were commenting about how the freshmen for Boyceville are men, and we've got some freshmen down there for the Vikings who just plain aren't very big.
Yeah, and, you know, they got to give Austin Peterson a little time in the pocket there to throw the ball for Colfax.
And he doesn't have any.
Right. Yeah, they got to make sure they get it in Theo Hovde's hands, maybe in Ryan Nichols' hands right away, and see if they can get some yards after the catch.
Drew Beekner teeing up the ball. He's got it over on a hash mark. We'll see if they, then the ball falls off the tee.
It has been a little windy here tonight.
And the flag is still sticking out pretty good. And an onside kick attempt, and that one gets covered up by the Bulldogs. Covering that ball was Tucker Lindstrom at about the 42-yard line. Vikings tried a little bit of shifting at the last minute and then tried the onside kick, but he kicked it a little harder than I think he wanted to.
Yeah, took a good bounce right in the Boyceville's arms.
And that is one of the strategies on the onside kick, too, to maybe get it to take a wacky bounce, and then you can dive on it. But it didn't work out for the Vikings that time. Boyceville up to the line. And the give out the left side, that's Leslie on the carry. He gets it out to the 45-yard line. And he picked up 2.
Austin Peterson on the tackle for Colfax.
Second and, well, we'll say a long 7, short 8. And the Bulldogs come up to the line. 2 backs in the backfield. Helendrung and Bialczyk are back there. And the give to Bialczyk straight up the middle. He gets it across midfield and down to the 48-yard line of the Vikings near the first down. Let's see where they mark it. I think they're going to mark it a little bit shy, like about a yard short. 3rd and a yard.
Yeah, that's what Colfax has to do, is make them run it in the middle and not get outside.
Leslie split out to the near side. Covered out there by Hovde. Romehild gives it up the middle. Bialczyk gets it across the 45 and stood up at about the 43-yard line. Maybe the 44, but it's enough for a first down for the Boyceville Bulldogs.
Good push by that left side of the Boyceville line.
So 1st and 10, just inside the 45. And the pitch coming around the near side. Leslie has it. He gets across the 40. He's on the open. Across the 20, 10, 5. Touchdown, Boyceville. Landon Leslie on the carry. That was we'll call it a 40-yard run. With 9:15 remaining. And Boyceville to try the extra point. This will be Helendrung out of the hold of Romehild. Snap to place the kick, gets up, and it's good. So, with the score, Boyceville 49, Vikings nothing. You're tuned to Viking football on NLWN 2.
Looking for a team approach to managing your finances? With over 70 years of experience and 12 locations, Dairy State Bank has built a reputation for helpful customer service and support. While our service ethic is old-fashioned, our products and services are not. We offer a full range of loan programs as well as online banking, mobile deposit, and transaction alerts to fit your busy lifestyle. Dairy State Bank, banking on relationships, member FDIC, and equal housing lender.
Back here at Colfax High School. 49-0. Boyceville Bulldogs just down Highway 170 from Colfax, kind of taking it to their neighbors today. New kicker in there, and he kicks it coming down. It's going to land on the 20, picked up by Beekner. Gives to Hovde. Hovde across the 20s out to the 30 and gets taken down at the 32-yard line. Isaiah Romero was the kicker.
Yeah, it's been kind of the little bright moments for the Vikings, really all season, as their special teams.
First and 10 at the 32. Paulus in the backfield. Peterson waiting for the snap. Beekner goes in motion. Peterson rolling to the right. Throws out into the flat. He's got his receiver. I believe that was Beekner. It was. And he got pushed out of bounds at about the 43-yard line, and that's a first down for the Vikings.
Yeah, Boyceville was in zone, and a little gap open up for Beekner.
And the Vikings come out to the line of scrimmage again. Austin Johnson split to the near side. Beekner went in motion. Pitch to Hovde coming around the side. He's open. He's down across the 30. Nobody's going to catch him. Theo Hovde into the end zone for a Viking touchdown.
$55? I think it was 55. Good run by Theo Hovde.
So a 57-yard touchdown run by Hovde. Vikings line up to go for two. Peterson rolling to his left. He gets taken from behind. He's still on his feet and run out of bounds at about the 10-yard line. And the extra point attempt is no good. So the score remains Boyceville 49 and the Vikings 6 as you're tuned to Viking football on NLWN 2.
NLWN2 is once again excited to be your host for Colfax High School boys basketball throughout the 2024 through 2025 season.
This is what we came in for.
Our first game of the season will be on Tuesday, November 26th, when the Vikings play host to the McDonnell Central Max. Coverage begins with Viking pregame at 6:40 p.m. with live play-by-play to follow. That's live Colfax Viking boys basketball on Tuesday, November 26th.
Looking for a team approach to manage.
Okay, we're back here at Colfax High School, and 49-6 Vikings on the board finally on a 57-yard run by Theo Hovde. Beekner teeing the ball up for the Vikings. Beekner approaches and he kicks it away. It's going to come down at about the 22-yard line. Grabbed there and taken down at the 35-yard line is Jacoby Kirschner.
Who's that? Cole Parzik on the tackle for Colfax.
That was number 12 on number 12. So it'll be first and 10. They put the ball right on the 35 for the Bulldogs. And they give it pretty much straight up the middle, off the left side, and carrying the ball is Tucker Lindstrom. He gets it out to about the 43-yard line. Gain of 8, second down 2. 42-yard line. Let's call it 3 yards to go. Split to the near side is Riker Bennett's. And they give it straight up the middle again, and this time he got to the 45-yard line. I think that was Kirschner on the carry.
Yeah, what? Maybe about a yard short? Half a yard?
New quarterback for the Bulldogs, Eli Weber, is in there. Weber ducks under center. Give up the middle and pounding it out to the 50-yard line is Lindstrom, Tucker Lindstrom. Right on the 50, 1st and 10. Again, Bennett's a split to the near side. And give to the second man this time, and he got nowhere. Vikings stood up nicely that time. Ball was carried by Ton. And he actually lost about a half a yard. 2nd and 11. Coming up on 4.5 minutes remaining in the third quarter. And they give up the middle again, and this time down across the 45 to the 44-yard line is Lindstrom.
Colfax doing a good job keeping them on the inside.
3rd down 4. And the Bulldogs come up to the line. Kirschner split to the near side this time. And we have illegal procedure being called against the Bulldogs. They're going to get moved back 5, so it's going to bring up, well, it's almost, I think the Vikings got a generous 5 that time. It's going to bring up 3rd down and 10.
Yeah, big stop right here for Colfax.
If they can make the stop. Weber under center. Pitch to the near side. This is Lindstrom. He's across the 45 and taken down at the 43-yard line. It's going to bring up a 4th and 3 for the Bulldogs. So 4th and 3. And this is clearly 4-down territory for the Bulldogs. They come up to the line. Kirschner splitting out wide to the far side. Then on the wing on the far side is Bennett's. Weber pitches to the far side, cutting up, and I think they might have stopped him. And they did. This was Lindstrom on the carry over the left side and stopped about a half a yard shy of the 1st down, and the Vikings take over on downs.
And number 12 and number 70 for Colfax. We're in the bottom of the pile.
Jacob Wall in on that one, along with Cole Parzik. Vikings up to the line of scrimmage. Peterson puts Beekner in motion. Gives to Hovde, coming to the left side. And again, he's got the corner turned. Makes a man miss and gets it down across the 45 to the 42-yard line. And it's going to be a first down for the Vikings.
Yeah, good job by the left side of the Colfax line. Getting a nice seal off there.
Under a minute to go in the third quarter. Vikings up to the line. Jacob Wall now in the backfield. Beekner on a wing, Hovde on a wing. Beekner goes in motion. Pitch to Beekner going around the right side. He uses a stiff arm to get the corner turned and gets shoved out of bounds. We have a penalty marker come flying in.
Yeah, late hit out of bounds.
He got pushed out of bounds at about the 32-yard line. They're going to say the 33. And it's a personal foul against Boyceville. That'll be enough for the Viking first down. And so as they march off the penalty, it's the end of the third quarter. Boyceville Bulldogs 49 and the Vikings 6, and you're tuned to Viking football on NLWN 2.
It's getting to that time of year again. Time for the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN TV to present our Halloween Spooktacular 2024. Join us at 7 p.m. on Halloween night by the light of the Jack-o'-lantern as we bring you some of the best in Halloween-themed old-time radio programs, including The Jack Benny Show and the Halloween Masquerade Party, Dragnet, and the episode entitled The Werewolf, The Lives of Harry Lime starring Orson Welles, and Suspense with The Bride Vanishes. So join me on our Halloween Spooktacular at 7 p.m. Halloween night on NLWN TV.
Multiple studies have shown that marijuana can slow both driver reaction and response time, which can be really dangerous. He's here. He's here. Wait. What? I can't drive. Why? My. Oh.
Back at the Lee Bierquist Athletic Complex, getting ready for the final quarter of Viking football for the 2024 season. Boyceville leading the Vikings 49-6. Vikings with the ball, 1st and 10. And the pitch to the outside, Hovde with it going on the left side. He gets the corner turn, gets past the first people and into the end zone for a Viking touchdown. Theo Hovde with a 20-yard touchdown run.
Yeah, when Theo Hovde gets out in the open, look out.
With 11:50 to go, Vikings going for 2. Hovde goes in motion. Pitch, throw to Hovde, wide open in the end zone. Peterson with a toss to Hovde. So the score now is Boyceville 49, Vikings 14. And you're tuned to Viking football on NLWN 2.
To do something like that is going to take a lot of people. It's not going to be 1 or 2 people to put a cabin together like this.
Country Haven Farms is fundraising to complete our cabin. Please consider donating. Every dollar received is greatly appreciated and will have a positive impact on the lives of the veterans we serve. Individual, family, and corporate sponsorships are available at all levels. To make a donation or sponsorship, please visit our website or give us a call.
Once the cabin is built, it's just going to be such a relaxing place to go.
Hi, I'm Smokey Bear, and I made an assistant to help you prevent wildfires.
Dude, I've got this. I've been camping since I was 5 years old.
But I am a camping influencer.
You know what? I'll bet you $5. Okay. Assistant Smokey, what is the best way to put out a campfire?
To put out a campfire, drown with water, stir, drown again. Then make sure the fire is out cold by feeling with the back of your hand.
Wait, really?
I'll take the $5.
Back here at Colfax, Vikings have just scored 14 unanswered points. It's 49-14, Boyceville on top. And the Vikings getting ready to kick. Zach Learmo also. And a short kick by Beekner. And it's covered and loose ball. And covering it back up that time were the Bulldogs. And it was Jonathan Frett who pulled it in because Theo Hovde had his nose sniffing that ball.
That just scored it away from him for a second.
So with the running clock, it's 35-point lead for the Bulldogs, just enough to keep the clock running. 1st and 10 at the 34. As they come up to the line of scrimmage. Weber still at quarterback. They put a man in motion. Give to the outside, and plenty of room out there, cutting back at the 40, and taken down at the 38-yard line is Andrew Ton.
Yeah, you had everybody fooled out there on that play.
So 1st and 10 at the 38-yard line. They come up to the line of scrimmage. And we've got a timeout being called by Boyceville. So with a timeout on the field, the score, Boyceville Bulldogs 49, Vikings 14. You're tuned to Viking football on NLWN 2.
In November of 2018, our daughter Jaina passed away. The outpouring of support was unbelievable. Support that we received inspired us to start a foundation called the Jaina Kelly Memorial Foundation. And through that foundation,
we've given back in a lot of different ways, through projects, through different other charities that we've supported. We like to help Humane Association, and the Ronald McDonald House is something that's very near and dear to us. We've also recently, this last year, we actually built a tiny house. It's really exciting to be able to give back in different ways.
to learn more or to help financially, would find us on Facebook or www.janakelly.com.
My dad was a farmer. The guy was bigger than life. He wasn't someone that liked to show his emotion or liked to show when he was struggling, but we all struggle. I want to show emotion to my kids. It's something that brings me so much joy, and I want them to see me working through things. Allow your kids to know that it's okay to struggle, that even dad doesn't know the answer sometimes, but we're gonna figure it out together.
1st and 10 at the 38-yard line for the Boyceville Bulldogs on the Viking 38. They put a man in motion and give straight up the middle. Not a lot there, but he did get it across the 35. It's going to be a gain of almost 5. Down to the 34, so it's a gain of 4, 2nd down 6. Bulldogs at the line. Rydell split to the near side. Give straight up the middle. And again, that's Lindstrom on the carry. He got it down across the 30, and it's very close. No, he didn't. They didn't give him the 30. They put it on the 31, maybe even the 32. Like we said, at the end of the season, the lines get a little faded down there. So 3rd and 3.
Tucker Lindstrom freshman, 6'1", 155.
Bulldogs at the line. Right straight up the middle, breaks one tackle and cuts to the outside. That's Lindstrom again. And he's got a first down.
Binkner on the tackle for Colfax.
For 6'1", 155, he runs pretty hard.
Yeah. Yeah, Colfax stretched that one out. Got the first down, but
so Bulldogs come up to the line, 1st and 10. Kirshner split out wide to the far side. Weber under center. Pitch to the outside. That's Ton. And he gets the 20, gets the corner turn, knocked out. No, he doesn't go out of bounds. Still on his feet, struggling down near the goal line. He did not get in. They're going to say he's down at about the 1. Now the officials are discussing it. And they're going to say he's short of the goal line, but it's going to be 1st and goal at about the 1. Well, I would expect them to probably give it to Lindstrom up the middle. That's what they've been doing. 7.5 minutes remaining in this one. Eli Weber at quarterback, 6'2", 170-pound freshman. And the pitch to Ton on the right side. He takes it into the end zone for the touchdown.
Number 9, Andrew Ton.
So that makes Boyceville 55, then Vikings 14. With 7:14. That clock did continue to run because they scored at 7:40. And trying to run the ball in, and he did. And I'm still trying to see his number. He keeps turning the wrong way. That was Kirshner on the extra point attempt. So 57-14, Boyceville on top. And we're bringing you Viking football on NLWN 2.
One scorching heat wave will leave me powerless to cool my insulin.
When the storm rolls in, my time to find a pet-friendly evacuation center will have run out.
I'm relying on luck, but who knows if it'll be on my side.
When it comes to disasters and emergencies, it's not a matter of if, but when. Take control. 1, assess your needs. 2, make a plan. 3, engage your support network. Let's prepare so we all have a better story to tell.
(57-14), Boyceville leading the Vikings. 7:14 remaining. Bulldogs getting ready to kick off. And there's the kick. It's going to come down at about the 15-yard line. Beekner has it. Sees an opening. He cuts to the outside and stumbles over the 35, falls forward to about the 37-yard line. And it's going to be 1st and 10 for the Vikings at that point. So 1st and 10 for the Vikings at the 37-yard line. Hovde goes in motion, and they give it to Beekner coming around the right side. He has to spin. They had him bottled up, and he tried right off the right tackle. It wasn't there. He tried to spin his way to the outside, and the Bulldogs did a nice job of shutting off the edge.
Number 12 for Boyceville at the bottom of the pile, Jacob Kirschner.
That's going to be a loss of about 5, second down 15. We've gotten under the 6-minute mark. Peterson takes it, drops back, throws it out into the flat, threw it a little too high for Nichols. He had Nichols on the short out and Hovde on the longer out, and he threw it over the top of Nichols, but quite a bit over the top. Brock Larson Wang came in for the Bulldogs. 6'3", 270-pound defensive lineman. And they get the pitch to Hovde. He gets the left side, gets outside, and gets it out to about the 44-yard line.
Tackle by number 24.
Braden Link. So 4th and 4. Nichols to the near side. Johnson to the far side. Hovde goes in motion. Peterson fires it deep. Nichols has it at the 30. Uses a stiff arm. He's down to the 25 and taken down to the 20-yard line. 1st and 10 for the Vikings at the 20-yard line of the Boyceville Bulldogs.
Yeah, good job by Ryan Nichols to come back to that ball.
Came back and high-pointed it and then put his foot in the ground and put his hand in the helmet of the Boyceville defender and got around the corner and got another 10 yards.
Now the Vikings at the 20-yard line, 1st and 10.
They come up to the line of scrimmage, 3.5 minutes remaining. Hovde in motion. Give straight up the middle. No, they gave it to Hovde going around the left side, and he got down to about the, well, I think it's going to be about the 12-yard line. Gain of 8. It's going to bring up a 2nd and 2.
Theo Hovde with the carry. Gain of 7 yards. Going to bring up a 2nd and 3.
It's a long 2. Line to gain is the 10-yard line. Jacob Wall as the running back. Hovde in motion. Pitch to Hovde coming around the right side. Looking for a hole, and he got back to the line of scrimmage. No gain. 2.5 minutes remaining and counting. 3rd down, and they even backed it up a little bit. 3rd and 3.
It's going to be another 3rd and 3.
Hovde going to the wing on the right side this time. Beekner on the left. In fact, they're going to the slots. Nichols is the split out to the near side. Peterson looking into the end zone. Touchdown! Caught by Hovde. – 12-yard touchdown pass. From Peterson to Hovde. with 1:47 remaining.
Yeah, just a little man coverage there, and Theo got in front of his defender. Easy touchdown.
Vikings lining up for a 2-point conversion. Peterson takes the snap, looks out into the flat, pass in the end zone is complete for the 2-point conversion. And I believe that was Beekner on the reception. So 57-22. Boyceville leading the Vikings with 1:47 remaining. And you're tuned to Viking football on NLWN 2.
Food isn't just fuel to live, it's fuel to grow. My family relied on public assistance to help provide meals for us. These meals fueled my involvement in theater and the arts as a child, which fostered my love for acting. The Feeding America network of food banks helps millions of people put food on the table. When people are fed, futures are nourished. Join the movement to end hunger, and together we can open endless possibilities for people to thrive. Visit feedingamerica.org/actnow.
Well, Dan said I'm getting greedy now because I wanted to do an onside kick to try and get another score before this one ends. Because the Vikings have 22 points on the board. That represents a season high for them.
Yeah, good job by Colfax to keep fighting here in the fourth quarter.
And again, both Beekner and I believe it's Lermo. And a high pop-up kick, caught and then smashed to the ground. Was Kirshner. Hovde put him right to the ground immediately. So it's first down with the clock running. And my guess is they're just going to run this thing out.
Yeah, they're probably going to run 2 plays.
So they come up to the line of scrimmage. 1st and 10 at the 39-yard line. Weber ducks in under center. Under a minute now. Pitch to the outside. He's across the 40. Out to the 45 to the 50. And he's got some running room. And we have a penalty marker on the play.
Back around the 40-yard line. 37.
The clock continues to run. It doesn't stop on penalties. And the penalty is declined by the Vikings. It was a hold. And I'm not sure if they have to run another play. Under 20 seconds remaining. And now we're coming up on 10 seconds remaining. And they are not going to have to run another play. So that's going to be our final score tonight. The Boyceville Bulldogs top the Vikings as they wrap up the season by a score of 57-22. We will have Viking postgame coming up right after this timeout on the NLWN 2.
You have been tuned to Colfax Viking football, live on NLWN 2. This has been a production of the Northern Light Webcasting Network in conjunction with Colfax High School, and is intended for the enjoyment of the viewing and listening audience. Any broadcast, rebroadcast, or reproduction in part or in whole without the express written consent of the Northern Light Webcasting Network LLC and Colfax High School is prohibited. Stay tuned. Coming up next is Viking Post Game.
Have you ever helped a fellow veteran?
Yes. I do my best reaching out to my brothers and sisters in arms.
Have you ever asked for help yourself?
Most of us, we're not gonna admit that we need to help.
You don't have someone to kind of help you guide those thoughts. It can
be really bad.
It's just a beautiful space when someone can trust you and say, listen, I need help.
Time now for Viking Postgame with a look back at today's Colfax Viking football game. And now, back out to the stadium and Viking Postgame.
And we're back here at Colfax High School, and with Viking postgame, where the Vikings came up on the short end of a 57-22 score to the Boyceville Bulldogs to wrap up the 2024 season. The 22 points put up by the Vikings today, though, is their season high. And let's take a look at how the scoring occurred in this game. It all started back in the first quarter with Zach Hellendrung taking it in on a 4-yard run with 7:52 remaining in the quarter, and then Romehild hit Hellendrung with the 2-point conversion for an 8-0 lead. Then with 5:44 remaining, Romehild took it in on a 5-yard run. The extra point was good by Hellendrung, making it 15-0. With 3:05 remaining in the first quarter, Romehild took off on an 88-yard scamper, and the extra point by Hellendrung was good, so it was 21-0 in favor of the Boyceville Bulldogs. Then in the second quarter, with 9 minutes remaining in the quarter, Hellendrung took it on a 9-yard touchdown run. The kick was good, making it 28-0. With 5:20 remaining, a 10-yard pass from Romehild to Rydell. The kick was good and made it 35-0. Then just as the time ran out and the second quarter, Romehild took it on a 9-yard run. The kick was good, and so the score at halftime was 42-0. In the third quarter, with 9:15 remaining in the quarter, a 40-yard run by Brandon Leslie took it into the end zone, and the kick was good. 49-0 was the score. Then at 7:42 remaining in the quarter, Theo Hovde took off on a 57-yard run for the touchdown. The extra point attempt was no good, but the Vikings were finally on the board, 49-6. Then in the fourth quarter, 11:50 remaining, Theo Hovde took off on a 20-yard run. Then Peterson hit Hovde in the end zone for the 2-point conversion, making the score Boyceville 49 and the Vikings 14. With 7:14 remaining, Andrew Tom took off on a 1-yard run. Then Kirschner took it on a run into the end zone, making the score 57-14. Then with 1:47 remaining, a 12-yard pass from Peterson to Hovde into the end zone, and then Peterson hit Beekner with a 2-point conversion, making the final score Boyceville 57 and the Vikings 22. So Dan, Vikings finished the season 0-9. But there are some reasons for the Viking fans to look ahead.
Yeah, I think they can put something together here. They got good talent coming up. You know, the season was kind of a Beekner, Hovde, Nichols season, and we're starting to see some of the younger players figuring out this game and getting involved, and that'll show next year.
It will. In fact, during Viking Preview, we made the comment about how, in fact, during Coach's Corner, made the comment that the Vikings, if they weren't the youngest team in the conference, they were very close to one of the youngest teams in the conference. And in the long run, that could pay off for the Vikings. And so this team looks to be very competitive next season with another year under the belt of some of these guys and another year of growth. They need to feed these guys lots of steaks and
That's
protein
right.
and get these guys to build up a little bit.
Yeah, you know, good job by Theo Hovde to hold this team together this season. And like tonight, he had all 3 touchdowns for Colfax. And that's what you want to see from your senior leadership. And now the juniors, sophomores, they can kind of build off that.
And you're absolutely right. And not far behind Hovde was Drew Beekner with an awful lot. Beekner was called on to do an awful lot of things. And that's, like I say, that's your senior leadership for you. And you've got guys coming back like Orion Nichols and Grant Paulus. Austin Peterson at quarterback is coming back. Austin Johnson, our Viking profile today. I just want to give a shout out to Austin on that one. That's one of the best profile interviews we did all season, was Austin Johnson's. And so the Vikings have some good talent coming. Zach Learmo was in defensively on an awful lot of plays. He's only a sophomore. And Sam Ralph and Grant Cook are only sophomores. Those guys are going to be bigger and stronger next year. This team is going to be competitive.
Yeah, you know, that front line is always the most important part of your team, and they're going to have a big part of that next year.
Well, Dan, we've completed another season. I can't wait for next season to start, but we got basketball coming up pretty soon as well.
Not too far off.
And I know that's your sport, and so we're looking forward to that one getting ready. In fact, let me remind you that you should join us on Tuesday, November 19th on NLWN TV as we bring you Colfax Viking girls basketball. The Vikings are going to open their 2024-2025 season by traveling to Eau Claire to take on the Regis Ramblers. Our coverage begins with Viking pregame at 6:40, followed by all the live play-by-play action. And then a week later, join us on Tuesday the 26th on NLWN2 right here on NLWN2 as we bring you Colfax Viking boys basketball. The Vikings are going to open their season by hosting the McDonald's Central Max, and our coverage will begin with Viking pregame at 6:40, followed by the live play-by-play. Hey, don't forget, we're only about, maybe 2 weeks away from after the trick-or-treating is done on Halloween. And once that's all finished, be sure to join us on NLWN TV for our 4th annual Halloween Spooktacular, featuring some of the finest Halloween-themed old-time radio programs from the golden days of radio. Halloween stories begin at 7 o'clock Halloween night on NLWN TV. Also want to remind you that coming up later this year, the Northern Light Webcasting Network will broadcast our 500th event. Be sure to stay tuned for special announcements and special awards for our loyal viewers. That's all coming up later this broadcast season on the Northern Light Webcasting Network. In fact, give you a hint, barring any blizzards, I hate to use swear words in front of you with that word blizzard, but barring any blizzards and snowstorms that cause postponed games and so on, our 500th event should be on January 6th. And so that's coming up real soon because we have some special things in line for that. And I want to remind you that tonight's Colfax High School football game has been brought to you by Dairy State Bank, where they're banking on relationships. Midwest Environmental Consultants, soil testers for Western Wisconsin. Anderson Bridges, who have been manufacturing prefabricated steel truss bridges since 1989. Slayton's Technology, IT provider for the Northern Light Webcasting Network. Menominee Eye and Optical, with quality, personalized care for you and your family. C&K Construction, concrete experts for the Chippewa Valley. And Mom's Restaurant and Pub in Colfax, comfort food the way Mom used to make it. Be sure to thank these fine sponsors for bringing you Colfax Viking football. Stop in, do a little business with them here on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN2. So for Dan Petchow and Carson Van Ness on the camera, this is Rick Olson. And the final score once again is the Boyceville Bulldogs 57 and the Vikings 22. And you've been tuned to Viking Postgame on NLWN2.
You've been tuned to Viking Postgame with a look back at today's Colfax Viking football game. This has been a production of the Northern Light Webcasting Network, NLWN2, along with Colfax High School. Check out our upcoming broadcast schedule at www.northernlightwebcastingnetwork.com.